contract today. The collective bargaining agreement between the cops and the city expired midnight. Negotiations on new deals have been ongoing, but neither side is revealing any information about what's being proposed. There is one difference to that. One issue, according to the scuttlebutt under consideration, is a loophole that allows officers to turn off their body cameras if they're working overtime. The town of Norwood, Massachusetts, is declaring a state of emergency following the massive flooding in town last Sunday. The flooding caused the evacuation of Norwood's hospital, which lost power after the rushing water caused electrical issues. The hospital remains closed. Residents with urgent health issues are advised to visit other area hospitals or urgent cares. Many cars in town were submerged in storm water, and numerous residents suffered other property damage.
WOON, the crossroads of the Blackstone Valley. WOON, Woonsocket.
Over 100 local school committees across Massachusetts want the state to pay all coronavirus-related costs for the next school year. The school committees each passed identical resolutions seeking funds for costs related to protecting students and staff from the coronavirus. Schools opening in the fall are expected to be complicated and expensive tasks with strict local distancing, social distancing in place. State recommendations issued last month indicated that local governments will have to cover the costs related to COVID-19. They're saying no.
You can depend on us for public service, ON Radio.
And now, as a public service, the Valley Breeze and valleybreeze.com present recent death notices from the local area. The Carpenter Jenks Funeral Home announces the passing of Donald P. Frappier, 65, who passed away at the Hope Health Huletar Hospice Center in Providence Wednesday, June 24th. He was the devoted husband of Mona L. Drolet for nearly 30 years until she passed in 2014. Born in Woonsocket, he survived by his daughter, Tricia Fort, of Cranston, and his grandson, Michael Mikey Ford. Good morning, and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Let's do that, shall we? It is Coffee Ann time here on ON AM and FM, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and streaming on our website, woonsocketradio.com. My name is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining me today. Joining me via the phone this morning, attorney Bob Lauder. And a good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to have you here with us, and always nice to have Bob here on these Thursday mornings. And we'll be joined later on this morning at 8:30 with the 2020 AutumnFest Grand Chairman. There we are of AutumnFest, Garrett Manseri. And we'll be talking about AutumnFest and it being canceled this year, and what are the plans for this year, and what are the plans for next year, and things like that. So that's going to come up at 8:30, Bob. So get all your questions ready. Okay?
Good.
In the meantime,
wait. You and I are alone.
It's
this
you
is
and
going to be
it's you and me.
Legal and sports.
Well, I haven't got any sports questions for you today. I do have some legal questions for you, though. So we're gonna put you to the test.
Half hour of being grilled.
Yeah. So Bob, unfortunately, last week we had the murder in the city of Woonsocket. You did hear about it, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now, in the story from this last Tuesday's call, we just want a clarification from you. Now, according to the Call newspaper, the alleged murderer, Paul Raposa, says there's no date was set for a bail review hearing, but a status conference was set for July 7th. Now, we did on Coffee Ann, we did a quick Google search of what a status conference was, and it basically just said, well, the two lawyers get together with the judge. So, okay, Bob, we need a little more information. What happens what is a status conference, and what happens at a status conference?
Well, it depends in part upon the severity of the crime and where you stand in it. Right now, I would imagine Mr. Posa has been arraigned in the district court.
Yes,
and
he
that is
was.
the lower level of the court.
6th District Court.
The district court does not have the jurisdiction to handle a felony charge. So in this case, the status conference is probably for the prosecutor, the defense attorney, and the judge just to review what is going on at the Attorney General's level, because they're going to be either bringing an indictment against him, an indictment coming down from a grand jury, or offering an information charge in the Superior Court on the felony counts. And then he'll be rearraigned in Superior Court, and that's where the negotiations concerning the possibility of a plea deal or going forward for a full trial is going to take place. So in the district court level, in a felony case, the status conference is usually just to make sure that we keep our eye on what's happening further down the line in the higher jurisdictions. However, if it was a misdemeanor charge, then at a status conference, the attorney for the defendant as well as the attorney for the prosecuting department would be seeing if they could work out some type of plea bargain, an arrangement, coming up with a sentence or can't think of the right word, ending of the case, which would result in satisfaction for both parties. So that would be in a misdemeanor, but in a felony charge like Mr. Raposa has, that's not going to take place. It's just to keep an eye on it while it goes forward into the Superior Court.
All right, then, Bob, since this is a felony murder case, why would why would any suspect be arraigned in Superior Court first? Why wouldn't not Superior Court? Why would it be arranged in District Court first if they can't handle it? Why wouldn't it go right to Superior Court?
I don't know, because it's a procedural step that they always take. Every felony charge starts off in the District Court and then is moved higher into the Superior Court.
Yeah. Seems
it may be because District Court is scheduled in a way that handles these kind of arrests much quicker than the Superior Court does. Right now, they don't have a kind of calendar which would be able to handle the number of people that are brought into a district court on a arraignment in the morning. If you go to the District Court in Providence, the District Court down in Warwick, on any day, you will see between 25 to maybe 40 people being arraigned on various charges that have been brought against them during the night before or the day before or over the weekend. And the Superior Court, although it's a much larger court, doesn't have their structure in a way that they can handle that kind of an influx of cases every day.
So is that why District Court is set up to handle arraignment, so many arraignments in a day?
Oh, no. District Court has a whole lot of other obligations. It handles the actual disposition of misdemeanor cases. If you were charged for jaywalking and brought before the court and decided you were going to plead not guilty to it and refused to work out any type of deal with the prosecuting authorities, then the case would actually go to a trial in the District Court. And because the District Court is a lower court, you could take an appeal from a decision in the District Court into the Superior Court and have a trial in front of a jury if you wanted to have a trial in front of a jury on your jaywalking charges. But the District Court gets rid of all the misdemeanor cases first, and probably 98% of all misdemeanor cases are resolved in the District Court, and very few are actually taken on a appeal up to the Superior Court. District Court also handles civil litigation. Now, there's a statutory amount that they can handle. They can't go beyond a particular amount. But if it doesn't go beyond that particular amount, if you're a minor auto accident, you had some damage to the fender of your car, it's going to cost $5,500 to fix it. The insurance company, the other driver has no insurance and refuses to pay. That kind of case can be resolved in the District Court. And again, you have the right to take an appeal if you're not satisfied with the results of the District Court hearing to the Superior Court. So it takes care of a lot of smaller cases in civil matters and misdemeanor cases.
Okay. In terms of scheduling, do they do all the arraignments first thing when court opens in the morning, and then they move on to the cases in the afternoon?
Usually in the District Court, they have a number of judges in District Court at each level. Down in Providence, I believe they probably have about 5 or 6 different judges. And so one judge will be assigned to handling all of the arraignments. And they usually do all of the arraignments starting right at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And depending on how many arraignments they have, then at the end of that time, they may schedule something else into the judge's calendar. The eviction cases, they do all of the eviction cases in front of one particular judge. They start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they do all of those. And at the same time, they intersperse, because a lot of eviction cases don't go to trial. A lot of eviction cases are worked out by the parties.
Yes.
And during the time that they're worked out by the parties, that judge isn't just sitting there doing nothing. He's probably handling other cases that have been put on the calendar as well, which are frequently collection cases.
Okay. Okay, so Bob, you mentioned Superior Court and District Court. What we had the story this morning that Providence Municipal Court is scheduled to reopen next week. So what is Municipal Court?
Municipal courts are an entity that were established only within the last probably 20 years. And it was an idea on the part of some municipalities to try and keep the amount of cases taken to district court at a lower level, because going to district court has a few downsides for the prosecuting authorities. One is if you're out in, say, Burrillville, and you have to go down to the district court in Providence, you're sending a police officer down there. You may be sending your city solicitor down there, and that takes them away from the municipality for a day. And if you had it within the municipality, you might have a quicker chance of getting the matters resolved and getting your officers back on the street or on the beat. They also have added things that zoning cases and things like that are now being heard at the municipal court level, rather than going into district court.
All right, very good. So does this affect you in your practice, Bob, with the municipal court scheduling to reopen next week?
No.
No?
I'm looking forward to the courts eventually reopening.
Yes.
But no, that's not a problem. I did have a Zoom conference with a judge in a divorce case a couple of weeks ago, and that was interesting. And it worked out very well.
Did it? Okay.
We didn't have to be down in Providence hanging around for an hour and a half waiting for the judge to get to our case. The clerk's office had contacted me several days before, said the Zoom conference is going to take place at this particular time. We had arranged so that we'd have our client in the office. They could see the judge and the attorney for the defendant. The other defendant. Yeah, it was the defendant. And the judge and the defendant could see my client and me, and it worked fine. We were over and done with in a short period of time. Client could get on to her regular work, and she wasn't paying to have me hanging around in the courthouse for an hour and a half. So
worked out well all the way around, huh?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Was that the first time you did a Zoom meeting, Bob?
Yes, and I have to confess that I had to practice it ahead of time with my daughter.
Well, sure.
Who is a little bit more computer savvy than I am. She noted that I had to feed the squirrels to run the machine before you start off, and not just wait to have them jump into action at the beginning.
So it's pretty remarkable how it can be done, isn't it?
Yes,
These
it is.
Zoom meetings.
Yes.
And everybody can see and everybody can hear each other. That's worked out very well through this whole COVID-19 situation.
The only downside was we had to clear a place in the office where the background would not be distracting with all the mess that I've created during this COVID-19 crisis while my staff is away from the office.
Well, you just got to have the background of all the legal books that look like the ones that you supposedly read,
Right, like the guys on TV. Yes.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
just like the guys on TV. All right, Bob, I wanted to bring this up for you as well. I don't know if you heard about it. There was a situation in Groveland, Massachusetts, which is kind of out near the Worcester area, in that general area. And there's an ongoing investigation out there because there was a black woman that lives in that town that drove her car out to pick up some free dog food from another resident of that town. All right? And after she picked up the dog food and was driving back home, a white man was following her. And she noticed this, and very smart of her, she didn't go to her house. She drove around for a little while, and he was still following her. And so she actually stopped by the side of the road and got out her cell phone and started filming the man. And basically said, why are you following me? And you can hear his response. His response was, I'm following you because you're suspicious. What are you doing in my neighborhood?" kind of thing. And so then it went back and forth, and she said, "Well, is it because I'm black?" And he said, "Well, no, it's not. It's just that I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you're here." So she was nervous. She actually brought the video to the Groveland, Massachusetts Police Department, showed it to the police chief. And the chief, his name is Jeffrey Gillen, says the incident is deeply disturbing and the man must be held accountable. Let's see what else. So the man has been questioned and criminal charges may be filed against this man. So what criminal charges could be filed against him for what he did?
Well, one caveat is I don't know Massachusetts law.
Okay.
But just making a speculation, this case has the interplay of a black individual and a white individual.
Yep.
But suppose it was slightly different. Suppose it was a woman and a man. Doesn't matter which race.
Okay.
The woman is driving along, and she realizes that this guy in the car behind her is following her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing it deliberately.
Yes.
And she takes a route that is so circuitous that it's pretty evident he's following her. It's not just he happens to be on the same route going to the grocery store in the same place. I think there's probably statutes that would say that when you're doing that, you're stalking someone. And there may be laws that say you cannot be stalking a person like that. And so that may be the elements upon which they'd be bringing the case that's out in Groveland.
Okay.
I'd have to see exactly what the laws are regarding stalking.
Okay.
But I know that when you have restraining orders, domestic restraining orders against individuals, they include that you cannot be stalking the person, you can't have cyber connection with the person, things that probably 50 years ago one wouldn't have thought was necessary because they didn't exist at the time.
Yeah.
But I would suspect it's something along those lines.
All right. I've got another question about this particular incident, and I'll ask you it. I'll let you take a break right now. Okay, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and program. If you have any comments or questions, you can call them in at 766-1240 or email them in to this email address, our new email address, coffee@wonsocketradio.com. Outside dining is now available at both Beef Barn locations, North Smithfield and Bellingham. Limited inside dining is available at the Beef Barn North Smithfield restaurant. The great roast beef sandwiches, steak sandwiches, and burgers are available, and be sure to check out their wonderful desserts. Go see their entire menu online at thebeefbarn.com. Remember, the Beef Barn can cater your event or office lunch. The Beef Barn is ready to serve you for takeout and outside dining.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, tell me about your agency.
Sure. We started our agency from scratch, which means we opened with no customers. We have grown because of all the family, friends, and locals that supported us over the years. We are proudly woman-owned and operated since 2006. We're a family business, mother and daughter team, so you get two different generations coming together to get the best of both worlds.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Feel the spirit on ON Radio.
Coffee Ann on ON, AM, and FM, and on our website, OneSocketRadio.com. This is Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder. We'll be joined by Garrett Mansiri coming up roughly around 8:30. Still with us there, Bob?
I am still with you, and I have a sports question.
Well, before we get to that, let's follow
All
up
right.
on this Groveland.
You're
thing.
hiding away from me, man.
No, I'm not hiding away. I'll try to answer it. So, let's play devil's advocate about this this man and woman in Groveland, Massachusetts, where the man is following the woman, the white man is following the black woman. He says, and you can clearly hear it on the videotape, on the video that they shot with their phone. I'm following you because I think you're suspicious. That's what the guy says. All right. What's the rule? What's the rule, Bob, on if you do see someone that you think is doing something suspicious, should you follow them?
I would think that if you thought you observed someone in some way conducting illegal activity,
Yeah.
you would contact the local police. Mm-hmm. It's not your obligation or
Responsibility?
to do a private investigation of
Yeah.
what you believe to be some form of criminal activity. And if your neighbor came out of the house with the axe in his hand and it's dripping with blood, you'd probably call the police rather than go into the house and see whether or not he killed his cat.
Right.
So the guy following her, he's fulfilling a concern he may have about safety, but he's just being inquisitive as opposed to being proactive and contacting the police department. They're the ones who should be doing the investigation, not necessarily a private citizen.
Sure. Okay.
What did he expect? I think you can go further. What did he expect to see? Did he expect to see the woman pull into a driveway of a home? Did he expect to see her go to the supermarket? Did he expect her to see her pull over to the side of the road and break into a house? You know, what was he thinking other than he's making a decision, in this case it appears to be based on the woman's appearance, that she was not what he believed to be in the neighborhood. But anybody has a right to be in a neighborhood. You can drive through the elegant part of Barrington and, have bumper stickers on your car that say, I'm from Woonsocket. And, that's not a suspicious activity. So
You're right, and it's never, on the video, it's never explained why he's following her, other than he says, well, you look suspicious, which is so vague. And she did the right thing and didn't go to her house and pulled off somewhere else to film this guy. And then what else happened? There was another woman that was walking nearby, and she defended the woman, and he ended up driving away. Now, they got his license plate as he drove away, and that's how they've been able to question this guy. So they know who he is and where he lives and all that stuff. So, and we'll have to see if more charges come. But as a public service announcement, and I mentioned this to my wife as we were watching this story, I said, if you're being or you think you're being followed by somebody, just drive straight to the police station.
Oh, yes, that would be
Don't go to your
appropriate thing
house.
to do.
Yeah, go right there, and and run inside or whatever, or call the police from the parking lot or whatever, and get them to come out and see what's going on. All right, Bob, what is your sports question?
Ah, man, you are going to be stunned and dazzled. I even know a sports question, and after I tell you we find out how good you were, then I'll tell you how I got the questions.
Okay.
What team did the Chicago Bears defeat in Super Bowl 20 by a score of 46-10?
The New England Patriots.
Rats, man, you are right.
Of course I'm right.
Darn.
How'd you get this question, by the way?
Because a while back I bought a whole box of little questions. It's like a Trivial Pursuit game, except it is all on sports.
Uh-huh.
And I figured I would carry these around with me so I could try and stump you. And darn it, you knew the answer and got it right.
For a New England Patriots fan, Bob, that's actually an incredibly easy question. And do you know why?
No idea why.
It was the first time the Patriots were in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
So we'll always remember your first time. And the thrashing that we took.
darn.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but good question.
Hey,
If you
I have
ask
to go back to the box and get out some more.
if you asked
I
me
thought-
if you asked me what the score was, I wouldn't have known the score. Other than the Patriots, I think had 10. I know it was just it was ugly after like
Whoa.
the first 5 to 10 minutes. It looked good there for a while. We almost took the lead.
And what's your predictions about this coming season if they actually get to play it? They have Tom Brady and Gronkowski down with the Buccaneers. Has Boston been able to come up with a team that is going to be able to challenge them in a respectable way?
Of course. Hold on to that thought for just a minute. I got to read this announcement. ONFM W258DU now leaves the air for antenna work. Listeners are encouraged to continue listening on WOON 1240 AM and online at WoonSocketRadio.com. All right, I had to get that in. Things are looking, pretty not bad, Bob. The Patriots signed that quarterback Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. He's going to come in, and now Cam was an MVP in the league 5 years ago. He's going downhill a little bit, and that's understandable because his team hasn't been that great, and he's run into some injuries. So, but hopefully it looks like he's back from those injuries. He's 31. He's 10 years younger than Tom Brady. He can be, just as good as he was. So it all depends on who gets to surround him, who he can throw to, and the better part of Cam Newton is the fact that he's actually very fast. He can run. Okay? Now, Tom Brady could not run. Tom was slow. And the offense was built around Tom throwing the ball all the time. And when he did run, it was because he absolutely had to. Now, the Patriots can have actually designed plays for Cam Newton to run if he becomes the quarterback. He's still got to win this position, of course. So things are looking pretty good for the Patriots right now. Now that they've signed this guy.
There's a lot more strategy to this game than I thought. Wow.
There's a ton of strategy in football. Yeah. So he's got to win the job. There's a lot of ifs. If he wins the job and if he stays healthy and if he's got decent people to throw to and decent running backs. There's a lot that has to happen. Well, and I still think the league is going to play. I think they're going to start on time. I just don't think there's going to be any fans in the stands. They're going to play a lot of football to empty stadiums.
That, I would think, would have some kind of psychological impact on the team.
Actually, it doesn't.
No?
And I can only go, and I never played professionally when I was younger, between baseball and played baseball and hockey, but I have played in places where there were a decent number of fans, luckily enough.
Right.
And when you're playing, you really all you hear is a murmur. You just hear you don't really hear until they cheer for you. But
right.
You really can't. You really as a player, you're really not supposed to pay attention to the crowd. You're taught that when you're young. No distractions. You're focused on the game. When you get to their level, they really should be focused on the game. So it actually is a benefit for the away team because they always say home field advantage.
Yeah.
And you got the cheering crowd and
Right.
booing you. If there's nobody there to boo you, the playing field is really it's 50-50. It's really equal for both teams.
Geez.
So more psychology, Bob.
Yeah. Now, Gronkowski had retired from the Patriots
Yes.
the year before. I had thought at the time that he had retired just because he felt he no longer wanted to be in the game and was worried about physical injuries. And now he's come back to join Tom down at the Buccaneers.
Yes.
What's the background story on that? Why did he do that?
Well, there's all sorts of theories. I don't have anything specific. When he did retire, football's a tough game, and he was in a lot of pain. Back,
Right.
knees, and things like that. And now, according to him, he's an advocate for that CBD oils and creams.
Mm-hmm.
He started using those. Said pain went away.
Oh.
He's still a young enough guy, late 20s, can still play. Pain all goes away. You get that desire to play again. And he always said he never wanted to play for any other quarterback other than Tom Brady. So he waited to see where Tom went and then said, okay, I'm not in pain anymore. I want to keep playing. I want to play with Tom wherever he is. He's in Tampa Bay. Trade me to Tampa Bay. That's that's speculation. But
was Brady's move to Tampa Bay based just on the fact that they probably pay him a heck of a lot more money than the Patriots are paying him, or
No.
are there other reasons behind it?
there's other reasons behind it. Tom's got enough money, to buy you and me, 5 times over.
More than 5 times.
And his wife makes so much money, so it's really not a money deal. When you get to that level, Bob, of championship play, now it becomes all right. I've done it 6 times with the New England Patriots. I won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots with this coach, and now they want to challenge themselves. Can I go somewhere else and do the exact same thing with completely different personnel? But, that level becomes a challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's what he was thinking. All right, let me go somewhere else and see and prove to everybody I can be good anywhere. I can be great anywhere. So now, if the stars line up correctly and the planets, keep your fingers crossed. There could be a Super Bowl between the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Whoa.
And how cool would that be?
Other than the fact that the Patriots would feel terribly betrayed if the Buccaneers win. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe some fans would, but that would set all-time viewership if that Super Bowl were to happen.
Oh yeah.
It would skyrocket, and tickets to that game you'd have to be a millionaire to go, kind of thing.
Fortunately for the rest of us, it would be on television.
That's correct.
With loads of commercials, but it would be on television.
We do have a note that's been written in, Bob. You can write one in as well. Coffee at OneSocketRadio.com. It says suddenly the Patriots could have a solid 1-2 punch at quarterback. One of the I'd say top 5 tandems in the league. I mean, quite a potential, and that's between Cam Newton and their rookie, who's supposed to be very good, but he needs some seasoning, and Jared Stidham. So that could be a good 1-2 punch, and we'll have to see how it goes. All right, Bob, it's time for the forecast right now. And the forecast is being sponsored by Lowe's. Today, a mostly sunny day with a high near 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 65. Friday, mostly cloudy, high near 78. Friday night, mostly cloudy, low around 61. Saturday, Independence Day, partly sunny, high near 76. And the outlook for Sunday, mostly sunny and a high near 83. And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with sunny skies, we have 75 degrees. Summer is open and Lowe's is home for the 4th of July. Visit Lowe's in-store or online to make your backyard the best place to be for the 4th. More of Coffee Hands coming up. Stay tuned. Who's ready for a good old-fashioned on-site country auction? Trudell's Auction Gallery is back. Come on down and join us this coming Monday as the auction begins at 10 a.m. Previews this weekend. Trudell's Auction Gallery has not stopped packing the gallery for over 2 months, and it all has to go. The auction is open to the public, so everybody can come. Bring your folding chairs and your coolers because this auction will be loaded. Trudell's Auction Gallery will be running this auction completely outside in the parking lot starting at 10 a.m. They do ask that you please have your masks and practice proper social distancing protocols. Trudell's Auction Gallery in the Bellingham Marketplace on South Main Street in Bellingham.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was.
I'm Mortimer. Bill. Is that you under that blindfold?
Bill, with this thing on, I can't see who I am.
No, I imagine not. Can't you see anything at all under that blindfold?
On a clear day, I can see the blindfold.
You can?
Yeah.
When Radio Was, shows from the past for today's imaginations.
When Radio Was airs Monday through Friday, right here on ON 1240 Radio at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m.
All right, it's Coffee Ann on ON, AM, and FM, and on our website, woonsocketaradio.com. And Bob, time for your first message from your law office, as you are the sponsor of this portion of the Coffee Ann program.
Thank you. I'm sorry I have to read this one again because I was hoping this was going to be a one-off commercial that I did way back in April. Good morning. As reports of the COVID-19 hospitalizations continue to take place, it appears to be more and more imperative that all of us engage in some basic life planning. One of the most severe consequences of COVID-19 may be the inability of a patient to communicate to medical providers any information concerning their desire and or decisions concerning their care. The reports seem to indicate that many of the individuals stricken with the virus and needing hospitalization become comatose and cannot make any meaningful response to the questions of the medical staff. Now is the time to prepare for such an event. Now is the time to prepare a power of attorney for health care purposes, sometimes also called a health care proxy. Preparation of this form should not be difficult. The forms are available on the website of the Rhode Island Department of Health. The forms will ask you, who do you want to empower with the authority to make medical decisions if you cannot make them for yourself? What is the individual's name, address, and telephone number, and are they agreeable to taking on this responsibility? Who do you want to make the decisions first? And if your first choice is not available, who is your second or third choice? Once the form is completed, it should be signed in either the presence of a notary public or two people who are not related to you, not employed by health care providers, not inheriting from you. Then copies of the form should be given to your agent, your doctor, the individuals you've mentioned, and members of your family. In the event you'd like to discuss this or other legal matters with me, please call my office for a telephone appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is area code 401-762-4550. And the disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. And we're being joined at the Coffee Ann table by the 2020 General Chairman of Autumn Fest, Garrett Manseri. Bob, say hi to Garrett.
Hi, Garrett. How are you?
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Wait a minute.
Fine, thanks.
Try it again.
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Great. How are you?
So, Garrett, you know what? You're going to be the answer to a trivia question someday.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's going to be, hey, what year did we not have Autumn Fest, and who was the general chairman that year? Who made that decision to cancel Autumn Fest?
I hope that's not a question.
Somewhere along the way, you might not be here, but somewhere along the way, that'll be the question. Hey, what year didn't we have it? And hopefully this is the only year.
Oh, my God,
that it doesn't happen. And for obvious reasons, we're not having it. No one's having fairs. Everything is canceled. In fact, we just got the email yesterday. Pumpkin Fest in North Smithfield decided to cancel. So it's not like we're being, ooh, look what we're doing. We're being unique. No.
There were some people that said you should come out early and be first, and I was like, there's a lot of things in life I want to be first, but this is not one of them.
What, cancel first?
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I don't know what
the first one to cancel.
I don't know what the benefit of that would be, but
no.
All right. Now, have you been? Things I thought about when the cancellation became official. I thought about the company that brings in the rides, Finelli Amusements.
Yep.
This is what they do. They go around to fairs, set up their rides, and make money.
Right. Yep.
What have you talked to them?
I have, yeah.
And is he still on the ground in a fetal position? He's like, he must be like, oh my God, what do I do this year?
He didn't get into too much about his business, but he said he's not in operation so much, and
all the people he employs.
Yeah. So fortunately, they've been able to apply for the unemployment insurance, but I know that's going to end at the end of this month. So I don't know what the plan is going forward. And when I spoke to him, he said, listen, if we are ready to go, we're ready to go. And he said, even give me 2 weeks' notice and I'll be there. And I was like, well, I need more time than 2 weeks to plan for Autumn Fest. But I said, we'll let you know as soon as July came.
Yeah.
And, people probably want to know why. And, at this point, we really had to commit financially to it. We had to pay our insurance bill. We had to start putting down deposits on headline acts and that kind of thing. So it really didn't make sense if we couldn't have it to the scale that we wanted. This was the time to kind of make the decision on that. So,
what do you say to people? And I've kind of seen this online, social media saying, "Well, let's just have a scaled down a smaller version of Autumn Fest. Could you have done that?
Yeah, we've had some discussion about that, and what overall feeling on the committee was that a scaled-down version wasn't going to be true to the real mission of what we were trying to accomplish. You know, our mission is more than just having the festival. It's to try to unify the community through that festival and other things that we do. And to not bring people together or to kind of limit the amount of people together on one particular activity, I think would kind of cheapen the whole experience of what we're trying to create. So we did have some discussion about it. We didn't know what the limitations would be. I mean, obviously right now it's going up to about 250 outside for events, but it could go back down, you know. So that's why we can't really commit financially to it and then have that go back down to 100 or 50 or, you know, and it's even hard to make money at anything with 250 people max, you know, to bring in the food vendors, the beer tent, you know, all those things are done based on numbers, based on crowds. And the more that they come in, the more successful they are. So I don't want anybody to lose money in this situation. So, and a lot of those restaurants that participate are also hurting. They're not even up at the full capacity right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why it's a struggle to put all those pieces together at this time.
Also,
I think you might have a lot of disgruntlement about people, if you did have a scaled-down version, who could not get in and would feel affronted, and you'd have to have a police presence to modify, you know,
keep people out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been difficult. And then and Autumn Fest still would have been criticized, saying, "Boy, this was a lousy Autumn Fest. They should have canceled it." There would have been those people.
I mean, not only the cost of police as well too, but the cost of the cleanliness. You know, trying to keep bathrooms clean, but porta johns clean.
Yeah.
You know, trying to wipe.
I mean, we
down.
try to do that anyway, but to try to keep it
not to that extent. You know, even wiping down of the beer cans and soda cans and things like that. You know, we're trying to figure out the logistics of that and how we can manage that. And you know, we struggle. I mean, we struggle to get volunteers to run it at the scale that we do. You know, to have it to that extent too would mean we have to work even harder. And so it was just insurmountable to pull it off for this year, unfortunately.
I saw another mention that said, well, maybe we could have the Autumn Fest if we just didn't have the beer tent, because that's where a lot of people congregate and it gets really crowded in there. And I'm thinking, and I saw that and I said, yeah, but that's a lot of money that comes to Autumn Fest because of that beer tent.
Yeah.
You can't really close that down.
And that kind of makes like the operation worth it for Rotary as well too. I mean, they also do the food, but it's a lot of work for them to do that. And, you know, so that's why they do the beer tent, because it's their main income generator. And also, I mean, there are crowds everywhere. I mean, the Food Row has a crowd. You know, I was out on the rides. My nephews came down for one day, and we took the rides together. And, you know, there were lines and lines and lines of people. And to try to keep everyone, you know, 6 feet away in a line would be nearly impossible. I mean, it just made no sense, you know.
To bring up another thought or another that people had, well, they said, well, when you come into Autumn Fest, have people sign waivers saying, well, I understand the
consequences.
The consequences. I understand. Yeah, I understand it's bad about that. I shouldn't be this close. But with this work, Bob, I will not sue Autumn Fest if I get sick. If I sign this waiver.
Signing waivers like that, yeah, but that's going against what Garrett's talking about. If you still have that large crowd there,
well, sure,
and people start to spread the virus, you are, whether or not they've said they won't sue is minor compared to the disaster of spreading the virus further and having it continue.
They'll still have it, and it will spread to more people, spread to more people, spread to more people, and we'll be in a bad situation, you know.
The other situation is there's more than a number of ways to get into World War II Park. There's no one main entrance or two main entrances. There's 1,000 entrances into the park.
People can sneak in multiple different ways.
That fence you're climbing over, Joe? The fence you're climbing over,
We're not talking about me, Bob, okay?
Oh, okay.
Actually, there are no fences. Well, there's a few. But,
sure there is.
But there's many ways to get into World War II Park. So, but on the upside, we're still going to be selling Autumn Fest buttons this year.
Yes, so there'll be a release coming out soon as to the locations you can purchase them, and you know, we tried to get a jump start on this year, you know. So
with the buttons that had already been purchased.
We did make them, we did sort them, so they're all ready to go. We just had a problem getting them into the businesses as they were not open at the time. So now that they're reopening, we're going to try to do that. And also, along with the buttons, we're going to do a sort of a bingo scavenger hunt with some of the local businesses that are selling them, so that there's going to be additional prizes as well too, gift cards and cash prizes. So that's a way to kind of help our button sales people and also just generate some business for local businesses that have always been a part of Honor Fest, which unfortunately can't be a part of it this year. And in addition to that, we're going to do a vehicle parade instead of our regular parade. You know, the regular parade is very expensive. You know, bringing in the bands, they all charge money, and we don't have the money. We don't have the fundraising funds, which is another reason why we had to cancel. And so we're going to do a vehicle parade, and we're going to honor our essential workers and our first responders who have really stepped up this year and, you know, have gone to work and really got us through this whole situation. So we're going to drive by and say thank you to them. And there will also be some specials on the radio and on our website, social media, that kind of thing. So, you know, still stay tuned and, you know, just say, hey, look forward to next year. We're trying to put all of our energy towards what we can do next year, make it even better. And hopefully everyone will look forward to that.
Do you know what the route of the parade will be? You know, normally it starts on Diamond Hill Road and heads towards the park. Is this something that may, like, circle?
Yeah, we could probably go a little bit longer and a little bit wider just because it's all going to be on cars. So it will take less time. But we need to work that out with the police department in terms of the escort and everything. So there'll be more information about that as we get closer.
Okay.
Now, are you concerned that the people who are viewing the parade are going to not be social distancing?
Yeah, that would be our concern, and that's why we're holding off on the announcement of that, whether we're going to make it public or not as to what the route is. So if there are large crowds, like, you know, in August, there could be, you know, 250 people. So I feel like that's fine to release what the route is, and people can go to whatever street is closest to them. But if we are in a bad situation where, you know, the cases skyrocket, then we might not be able to publicize what the route is and just kind of take photos and let people watch maybe a video of it instead.
Garrett, take a look at what they're doing in Cumberland for the 4th of July parade, because they're doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
Instead of the 4th of July parade, they're doing a whole car thing.
Right.
And they're going up Nate Whipple Highway to Mendon Road and taking Mendon Road all the way down to, I think, Ann and Hope.
Yep.
And then circling onto High Street, onto Diamond Hill Road, and back. So they're circling basically the entire town.
And are they encouraging people to?
They want people to come out on the sidewalks and, you know, honk and they're not going to honk. The cars will honk, but wave and cheer and things like that. Cumberland's different than Woonsocket, it being a rural town, so people would come out of their homes. But it does get a little crowded down in the Valley Falls section. Right. But they want people to stand on the sidewalks and wave.
Yeah, I mean, we need to work it out with the police department. Maybe they can, you know, monitor the route for us and make sure that people are spaced out from each other as much as they need to be. You know, so that's why we need to just work that out and see how we can plan that all out.
Okay. Bob, it's time for a second message from your law office, please, and then we'll take a final break on the Coffee and program.
Thank you. Good morning. A few minutes ago, I spoke with you about powers of attorney for medical purposes. The concept of powers of attorney are sometimes confusing. Recently, an individual told me that they did not worry about what would happen to their assets after their death because they'd given an adult child power of attorney. The individual imagined that this would grant to the child the authority to collect and disperse all of their assets after their death. Please understand, while a power of attorney can be a powerful instrument, and can grant someone else extraordinary power over your assets, that power does not extend after your death. Powers of attorney become null and void upon the death of the grantor. Should you possess assets in your name alone at the time of your death, whether that be bank accounts or real estate, in the absence of a well-crafted last will and testament, your assets will be distributed in accordance with the laws of intestacy of the state in which you reside. Although a few minutes ago I suggested that you could secure health care proxy forms off the Department of Health website on the Internet, I do not suggest that anyone rely on Internet forms to create a last will and testament. Until a few weeks ago, I used to illustrate this point by suggesting that none of us wants to cut their own hair, but rather have it done by a professional. Probably during this COVID-19 crisis, we're reflecting on the true value of those professionals when we stare in the mirror each morning. In the event you think my office may be of assistance to you in this or other legal matters, please contact my office for a telephone conference. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And the Coffee and program will continue right here on ON Radio. Riverfront Patio Dining awaits you at River Falls Restaurant. Enjoy your lunch or dinner as you overlook the Blackstone River. Here are some of the wonderful items on the menu: steak and peppers pizza, baked stuffed haddock, and choice filet mignon. Make your River Falls Restaurant reservations today by calling 401-235-9026. 235-9026, or go online to riverfallscomplex.com. You'll love the Riverfront Patio Dining at River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket.
Is your business struggling to be found on Google? Are you still trying to figure out how Facebook works? Are you wasting your money on social media? Do you just need more customers? If you do, then contact the local digital marketing team at Breeze Digital Media in Lincoln. Breeze Digital Media has programs that are approved by Google and Facebook and are designed to grow your business. Packages start at only $199 a month and include easy monthly reporting so you know where your investment is going. Contact Breeze Digital Media for a free marketing analysis of your business today. Call 401-334-9555, extension 154, anytime, or visit breezedigitalmedia.com/offer.
American Top 40.
Tune into ON Radio starting this Friday at 2 p.m. and all weekend long for the All-American Top 40 Weekend. Hear Casey Kasem count down the summertime hits from the 70s and 80s all weekend long. It's the perfect backdrop for your Independence Day holiday fun. The All-American Top 40 Weekend, right here and only on ON AM and Stereo FM.
American Top 40.
And the All-American Top 40 begins Friday afternoon at 2 here on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan on Coffee Inn, along with Bob Lauder. He's on the phone. Garrett Manseri is here at the station, just talking about the Autumn Fest situation and it being canceled for this year. First time in the 42-year history of Autumn Fest. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So another thing I thought of is, Garrett, have you kicked this around with anybody? People are saying, maybe they should make T-shirts that say, and just use what you put in the press release that says Autumn Fest 2020, the year that didn't happen, and make a T-shirt out of that, and see if they would sell. People always say online, "Oh yeah, I'd buy one," but it all depends on cost, of course.
Yeah, we do have a vendor that we work with that makes our clothes, and I actually was there yesterday talking to him. And I think I'm going to propose to the committee that we do like an online store, so that people can purchase things. And the good thing about that is that we can only order what is ordered, so it's not like we're going to lose money on that. So if we sell, 20 T-shirts or 50 T-shirts, they'll only make those 50, so that will be helpful to us. And yeah, we might do that. We might have some special items on there that highlight this particular year for this situation, and people can remember it if they want to. and it's something special. Hopefully this is the only one that ever has to be canceled.
That's right.
Our biggest concern was always like rain or, a wind traffic or other things like that. And, we've never had a situation like this, but hopefully, it's the only one, and we can kind of highlight a little bit, and maybe you can buy some memorabilia. So,
were the vendors like the merchants, were they reaching out to you past couple of months, food vendors reaching out to you saying, "Hey, what's the deal? What's going on? We got to make plans."
Yeah, and obviously some of them like to get in very early because they like to reserve their spot early.
Yeah.
So what we did with them is we started, just send in the application and hold off on the money because we didn't want to refund all the money.
Yeah.
So that's why we just kind of took in their application so that we can update their contact info in case their address changed or their phone number changed and that kind of thing. But so we had a few people that submitted, but I think most people knew what was going to happen, so they waited and held off. So, all we can do is say come back next year and just get a jump start for that. So we'll try to get the applications up early.
Can you start accepting money for next year?
I wouldn't necessarily say that because I don't know what the pricing might change based on if there's a new coordinator and that kind of thing. So I just want to hold off on doing that yet. So
okay. Any of the bands reach out and say, I don't know if you talked to the entertainment coordinator, Steve Laramie.
He had some headline acts lined up. They agreed to play, and we agreed on the price, but we never made any deposits. So I might try to reach out to them and say, let's just book them for next year and line them up so that they don't book anything else. And so we might do that ahead of time since we have some money to put down for deposits and that kind of thing.
Okay. Still with us, Bob?
I'm still here.
Excellent. Just jump in with any questions, okay?
Same thing with the sponsors, too. We did get some money from sponsors, and that money can either be used for this year or they can roll it into next year if they choose to.
Bob, what's your favorite food at Autumn Fest?
Favorite. There is so many to choose from. There's canned food, which is always fantastic.
Yeah.
There's the clam chowder that used to come from Clarice's.
In Bellingham.
Clarice's operation.
Chowder Bowl. Used to be the Chowder Bowl.
Chowder Bowl, right?
Yeah, but they closed.
I know. That's fantastic. There's the pierogies, which my wife really liked.
Yep.
There's lots of good food there. Yes.
Sure. Okay. I'm glad you enjoy it all. So, let's see now. I know I've seen this online, and I don't know if this can be done, but we want to make Autumn Fest bigger for next year because we're losing out on it this year, and so some people are expecting some big name act to come, and they haven't said who they think it should be. They just say, we should have a real big name next year. I think they think there's all this money that's been set aside for this year. We're just going to move it over into next year, and we could double everything.
Well, I hope that's the case. I hope all this money comes in for this year just because people want to support us, and then we can roll it into next year. And I mean, listen, I would love to spend more money on entertainment. If the money comes in, we'll definitely do that. So.
All right.
One thing I want to mention
available.
too is we do have permission to use the park during that weekend, so that it wasn't taken away from us. So what we might do is do some smaller like sporting events and fitness activities in the park. So if you are available that weekend and you want to come down and have some fun, we might be able to do some smaller things.
Like on the basketball courts or over that way?
Possibly. Like last year we did like a boot camp, so we could do something similar to that. Maybe some games depending on what it is. So if you have ideas, definitely reach out. Judy Sullivan is in charge of that at the Gym LLC, so you can stop in and call her. And if you have ideas, reach out to us and see if we could do some kind of fun activities. Just as soon as there's no, large crowds that are going to be attracted to it.
In a way, a boot camp would work out well because people could stay 6 feet apart while they're doing it, or one person does it one at a time,
right? Yep.
Kind of thing. So, so that could be done. That's right up your alley, Bob, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Come down and get a good workout.
Bob was in the Army, so he.
The prospect of going back to boot camp at age 73, I'm just right there ready to do it. It wasn't fun when I was doing it in my 20s.
But you won't be up against the 20-year-olds, Bob. So you may come in first place.
Yeah, but there's surely going to be some guy out there who's in better shape than I am at my age. He's going to cream me, make me feel like, Yeah.
That's like the I can't remember if it was last year. Yes.
Would I be challenging you?
No, we're in different age groups, Bob.
Sorry, man, that was mean. That cuts hard.
But I don't know if they had it last year or the year before. But we had a 5K. Did we have a 5K a couple of years ago?
At one point, yes.
Yeah. Maybe we could do that.
Most of them have been virtual, like do on your own.
No,
so
that's
we
true.
could do something like that.
It's tough because, when everyone starts, they're all grouped together.
Last year we did the cornhole. I'm not sure if we could do something like that again. We'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Cornhole has become the biggest sport on ESPN.
Has it really?
Have you seen it?
Well, I haven't seen it on TV.
It's one of the only things you can do live. And there's no contact. That's good. Yeah. And the people that are participating are they're wearing masks.
Right.
And they stand on either side of that board.
It's not physically demanding on you to wear that mask,
No. So you're not trying to suck in air playing that game. So another possibility. Okay.
So we'll just start thinking about some ideas that we could do.
Mm-hmm. All right. And instead of bands, maybe a DJ just playing tunes. For some,
possibly, if people want to come and hang out in the park. I mean, like I said, it probably will be open to the public. And
anyway,
if you want to come down with your family, get some food at one of the local restaurants and then bring it there.
Yeah. Not
definitely
bad.
have your own little party in the park. So
Okay. Bob, we did have a note that's been written in, and they wanted me to ask you this question. It's got nothing to do with Autumn Fest, but are you ready? It's a sports question.
A sports question to me?
I don't know why
Yes.
they want you to ask.
Somebody actually thinks I know something about
Yes,
sports.
yes.
That person is a great individual.
I think this is going to be a tough one, though, for you, Bob.
Yep.
What pitcher was known as Louisiana Lightning?
Good Lord.
Hearing nothing.
Let's see. Louisiana Lightning, I have Bubba Smith.
No. Garrett, you want to take this one?
I don't.
It's
I don't
before
know
your
either.
time.
No, I haven't.
It's Ron Guidry. Pitch for the New York Yankees. And
Man, that reader is on your side. They're with you.
And he was called Louisiana Lightning because he pitched fast and he was from Louisiana.
I was going to say, you must have been from Louisiana, but I couldn't think of anybody.
And he was really good. All right. So you got stumped, Bob. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I know it's going to ruin your whole day. Okay. All right. So no Autumn Fest this year, and the Grand Marshal has been selected. It has not been announced. What are we doing about the Grand Marshal?
So we'll probably do some kind of special announcement, but like I said, we're going to honor the essential workers and first responders. So we'll probably do some kind of video announcement for them to thank them and just recognize them for this year. So there's no particular one person. It's a group of people this year. So
okay. So and we'll honor them this year. Will we honor them next year too? Are we going to hold over?
No, next year, assuming that we can do everything the same, we actually already selected our Grand Marshal for 2020 that was supposed to be, so that person will get carried over to 2021.
All right, perfect. Well, we've come to the end of the program, so we thank you all for listening. And Bob Blatter, brush up in your sports trivia for next week, okay?
Oh, my goodness, man. I don't have enough time left in my life to learn enough about sports trivia.
I know. Once you study one sport and you think you're all set, well, you just get another question about another sport, and then you're stumped again. All right, Bob, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you next week.
All right. And Garrett Manseri, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. We will talk to you this afternoon here on ON, AM, and FM.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON, Woonsocket Radio, ON, AM, and FM. And now, the news. We see on the front page of today's Woonsocket Call big color photos from Ernie Brown, who was on the scene as Lincoln firefighters worked to extinguish a fire at 1137 Smithfield Avenue in Lincoln yesterday just before 5 p.m., minutes after a bolt of lightning struck the home and ignited a fire in the cupola. A firefighter on Ladder 5 Salesville is seen using the axe to attack the blaze as other units from the area also respond. Flames are clearly seen in the photographs. No injuries were reported at the scene, and the scene was cleared just after 6 p.m. Intense thunderstorms rolled through the Blackstone Valley yesterday afternoon, also causing some flooding in some neighborhoods. You can see it in today's Woonsocket Call. Over 100 local school committees across Massachusetts want the state to pay all coronavirus-related costs for the next school year. The school committees each passed identical resolutions seeking funds for costs related to protecting students and staff from the coronavirus. Schools opening in the fall are expected to be complicated and expensive tasks with strict local distancing, social distancing in place. State recommendations issued last month indicated that local governments will have to cover the costs related to COVID-19. They're saying no.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. All 50 states have moved to reopen their economies, but only 2 of them meet most of the criteria. Mike Bauer reports.
Health experts say specifically states should meet at least 5 basic criteria. They should see a 2-week drop in coronavirus cases. They should have fewer than 4 daily new cases per 100,000 people per day. They need at least 150 new tests per 100,000 people per day. They need an